So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. And in this episode, I want to talk to you about an experiment I did where I switched from the iPhone 16 Pro to the Galaxy S25 Plus, and it was quite surprisingly a nice experience on the S25 Plus. I want to explain to you what I learned and why I think it's probably the better phone here of the two. Let's go ahead and start with the very first one. Now, what I really like about the 16 Pro is that it does have really razor thin bezels, 6.3 inch size, and I thought it would be the perfect size, and it's pretty darn close to that, but it's still a little bit small and pretty weighty at 199 grams. The first thing I noticed immediately about the S25 Plus is its weight distribution. So it's very balanced across the body, so it doesn't feel quite as bulky or heavy to hold as the 16 Pro while still retaining a larger 2K display. So this is 10 grams lighter, and I mean, it might sound like nothing, but it's definitely noticeable. It's not always in the actual grams or the actual weight itself, it's how that weight is distributed across. The iPhone 16 Pro tends to feel a bit top heavy, especially in the top left corner where the camera is. But generally, it just feels like a little chunky phone to hold. Slap a case on there, it gets a little heavier. So it's over 200 grams easy with a case. The Galaxy S25 Plus was refreshing to switch to. I mean, it feels larger while still feeling great in the hand. So definitely, I have to say, this phone was a joy to use. It sure was. So I definitely like that thing first. The next area I found better about this phone is similar to what I've been talking about in my speed tests. The actual software experience tends to stay faster over my day-to-day. It just feels like a faster phone. I don't care what you're doing. iOS can have these little slow feels to them. I don't know how to describe it. It's just like the back gestures on both sides on the Samsung. The animations are faster now. It just feels like a snappier experience. So if you like a faster feeling phone day-to-day, I do think the S25 Plus, once again, is the better phone here. So just keep that in mind if you're looking for a faster device and you're trying to decide between these two. The very next one that really struck me is that the Siri is cool and on here. The AI stuff is just not great yet. I feel like the first year with these 16s was kind of beta. But the AI experience with Gemini integrated right onto the S25 Plus itself. And then if we go over here in the settings, let's go over here to settings, and we'll go over here to Galaxy AI. All the Galaxy AI stuff has been a joy to use. So the integration of AI has been really good on this phone, and it just feels like a more smart experience day to day to use this device over the iPhone 16 Pro. So definitely, man, this phone just feels so striking in the hand. I can only imagine how good the Edge is going to feel. We'll go ahead and get that one soon. But this one is super thin already at just 7.3 millimeters thick. That's not that thick at all. And honestly, it just feels great in the hand. Now, the next one is, I always thought anything like Pro and Pro Max should have ability to multitask. But you only have the ability to go one application at a time. So if I go into the weather and then I go over here to the news, and then if I go over here into stocks, for example, and then I swipe out of here, like it's one app at a time. What if I want to look at the stocks and the news? I know there's news in stocks, but still, you get what I'm saying? Like one app at a time. Hopefully they bring that on iOS 19. But with the S25 Plus, you have this lighter build, lighter than the 16 Pro, while still being larger, while still having nice weight distribution, while still being able to multitask with split screen applications. So pretty nice. And with the speed of this phone, it never slows down no matter how many split screens you're doing. You can also rotate this baby into landscape. And with its nice feel in the hand, this is actually quite nice to hold like this and watch some movies at night or do some landscape orientation tasks. It's just kind of fun. It's a nice little, it feels like a little mini tablet-ish experience at night when you hold it like this. So not exactly a tablet, but definitely tablet-ish. I think I just made that word up. I don't even think it's a real word, but we'll roll with it. Tablet-ish. We're just going to roll with it today. Don't take it for a real word. It's really not. But the next one is 120 hertz. So while we do have promotion on the iPhone 16 Pro, 120 hertz adaptive refresh, it doesn't always feel that way. Sometimes it feels like it's moving slower than that. So I don't feel like this is the fastest version of that. It just feels a little slower, whereas this feels like it's always scrolling at that fast rate. So I definitely like this more for that area. Let me go ahead and turn on the media page. If you're scrolling through these media articles here, definitely everything just feels like it's always scrolling at that fast speed. So some people say that it scrolls too fast. It's annoying to them. They like the smoother, slower scroll of the iPhone. But really, all you have to do when you're using the Samsung is just slow your scroll down, and then you'll be able to get the same thing. It's very simple. And then if you go over here and you want to speed it back up, you can just flick like that. So it's more options when it comes to the way you're scrolling on here. So that's another one right there. Now the next one is this actually has better battery life in my experience. It's a bigger battery and it should have better battery life, which it does, especially when you enable it to the 1080p mode. I found it to be a little bit worse, or pretty close to the iPhone 16 Pro in in the QHD Plus. But on Full HD Plus, this lasted longer by a good stretch than the iPhone 16 Pro in my experience. So I'm going to enable it to Full HD Plus now. I was in 2K earlier, but definitely it lasted longer. How much longer are you asking did it last? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. Let me go ahead and look at my notes over here because I did write this down. We're going to see that it lasted for me about an hour longer. So with the Full HD. So with the QHD though, it was pretty close. So that's just something to keep in mind. If you want to go with the higher resolution, it definitely was much closer. Now, another thing that's nice about the Samsung S25 Plus over the 16 Pro was faster charging. Now, this wasn't blazing fast. Like, it wasn't faster than OnePlus style, but definitely it was fast and it was noticeable. So that's nice. Another thing that has been better is the Google applications experience. So if you tend to use Google apps, they just work better on any Android phone, but mostly the Samsungs, they work really well in the higher end Pixel phones because these devices have really fast processors and they have really good performance day to day. So all of your Google stuff works flawlessly on here. Whereas I have I'll open up some Google apps on the iPhone and sometimes they'll just be buggy, stuttery. They'll just lag up. So if you like to use the Google apps, definitely a Samsung phone might be more up your alley, or a Pixel device, or even a high-end OnePlus device, if we're being honest here. The next one is the faster biometrics. So I really enjoyed just looking at this and it unlocking. I got tired of swiping on the iPhone. I know first world problems, but come on. If we have the option, why would we go with the lesser option of the two? So that's something I really noticed when switching over. And another thing I noticed was more camera versatility. I really enjoyed having way more modes to use. And I like how Samsung and One UI 7 brought things down here by my thumb. They should never go away from this. This was a very smart software decision. So whoever came up with that decision, bravo. That was a good one. While also not keeping the camera settings right in application. Also, I like how this one also doesn't really make you lose anything when it comes to the log or the UHD 60. It's nice that the iPhone 16 Pro also has the same camera setup as the Max though. I do like that for this phone. And I did tend to miss the camera button a little bit. I'm kind of getting used to that. Just for quick photos, you just kind of it's like muscle memory. You get used to it just being right there. But overall, they tend to have this similar curvy feel in the hand, but at the end of the day, after switching and doing this experiment, I feel like it really just comes down to the personal preference of the brand. But I think from a hardware perspective, I do think Samsung is in the lead. I think it's pretty apparent they're in the lead here. The phone feels incredibly light, great weight distribution, incredibly thin, while still offering pretty much everything that phone offers in actually surpasses it in performance. It surpasses it in certain areas of the camera. Some people would argue social media is better on the iPhone. Little punch hole versus having a huge dynamic island. Although my two dream phones are when they go to all screens, period. No disruptions on the screens whatsoever. And also pretty razor thin bezels. So some argue this is the sweet spot. This is the Silver Shadow edition. But overall, I have to say, after doing this experiment, I do think the S25 Plus is a better phone. I just do. That doesn't mean it's a better phone software experience, because the software is what drives your decision a lot. So some people are still not going to want to go away from iOS. And this video is not to convince you to leave iOS. I'm just telling you what I experienced using both of them. Maybe this helped you out if you were trying to make a decision between both of them and you're more open-minded to try both platforms. But I thought that the S25 Plus, when looking on paper at 6.7 inches, I thought this phone was going to be way bigger than the 16 Pro and just not comparable. Like, I never understood why people compare them, but now I kind of get it. They are kind of in the same price range, but this actually, to me, is way more competitive with this than the 16 Plus, and actually beats it. But I will be comparing this to the 16 Plus, so stay tuned for that. If you found this video helpful, entertaining, informing, click the like button for me. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you all in the next episode. Nick here. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to be well, and peace.